It's February 4th, 2019. A strange stream goes online from the Titanfall developers. They announce their new Battle Royale game, Apex Legends, and going against the grain, tell players it's available to play right that very second. No prior marketing, no lead up to release, no teaser trailers, nothing. They throw the game out into the wild and it blows up overnight. Everybody was on the Apex Legends hype train. It seemed like this was going to be the next big thing. And nobody at the time quite had any idea just how big of a game it was going to be. Except somewhere along the line, something went wrong. And now, almost 6 years later, it feels as if the magic of those early days is all but gone. What made Apex Legends take such a dramatic turn, and why is it now sitting in such a bad spot, with most players publicly hating on the game? Let's take a trip back through history and break down piece by piece exactly what went wrong with Apex Legends. Despite Apex having an amazing start, things didn't really go well shortly after launch. Little did we know those first blunders were a key piece to the puzzle that explained Apex Legends' crumbling fall from height. Season 1 was released on March 19th, 2019, bringing Octane, a new weapon, and, well, not much else really. The Battle Pass was mediocre, the challenges were extremely difficult, making it hard to level up the Battle Pass, and the lack of content meant the game sort of died off very fast. Players went back to their favorite games, and Apex hit its first big fall-off. Luckily, this was not yet the end for Apex Legends. The Respawn devs came out to say they really weren't experienced with live service games and also weren't quite expecting such a big explosion in popularity. But they promised they'd work things out and build a better experience for everybody. And along came Season 2. We got Watson, a new map update for Kings Canyon, some super powerful hop-ups, and things started to look up for content. We also got our first town takeover filled with lore. Yeah, remember town takeovers? And sure, we had that blunder with the first collection event, but monetization practices aside for now, Apex was about to hit its golden years. Season 3 dropped with a brand new map, more LTMs than you could count on your hands, and the game was starting to pick up the pace again. It was without a doubt a big turning point for Apex Legends, and things really started to turn out well for the game. When I ask people what their favorite season in Apex was, it usually ends up being Season 3. It was still new enough that there was no mega sweaty meta yet, and everybody was still learning the game together. But it was packed to the brim with new events, game modes, and a really cool town takeover. Looking back, Season 3 basically had more game modes than the entirety of the next 2 years. The game did start to follow a pretty cool trend though. We'd get fun new events, a new town takeover, and an heirloom backed with some kind of lore for the character that got it. From gameplay to map changes to lore, everything felt connected and well thought out. Season 4 came around with some absolute banger lore. The Sentinel, Revenant, and content was being pushed into the game. Whilst it didn't quite hit as hard as Season 3, it still felt like a decent season. And we of course got the Bloodhound Town takeover and even more lore. Season 5 added more cool content, and although not everything was a success, it felt like Respawn weren't afraid to experiment and try push out different game experiences besides the core Battle Royale experience. Apex wasn't like Fortnite by any means, but they finally had a consistent content schedule with seasons, collection events, LTMs, and mid-season balance changes. Whilst Season 6 felt like a filler season at the time, it did still bring some of the best changes to the game, such as Evo armor and crossplay, alongside Rampart and the Vault. And we got one of the coolest Legend teasers to introduce Horizon coming into Season 7. Season 7 itself introduced the most beautiful map to bless the game so far, a super fun new movement legend, clubs, and the game came to Steam for the first time. There were a few misses when it came to LTMs in the season, and people were starting to miss Season 3 already, but looking back, Season 7 was easily one of the better seasons to hit the game. And unlike current day Apex, we were still getting town takeovers, lore cinematics, new weapons and legends, keeping things fresh and unique. And so far, no big issues with the games had really popped up. It seemed like the future of Apex was looking great. Season 8 came around with a refreshed Kings Canyon, fused a 30-30 repeater, and the game even came to Nintendo Switch. But this is where I remembered things starting to feel a little off. Respawn's lack of attention to detail and careful testing was really starting to show its effect in game. We didn't know at the time just how important this was going to be for the future of the game, but subtle signs were really starting to show. Whilst the first collection event had no issues and did include a really fun Corsic town takeover with cool hidden lore elements, the next event was plagued with problems. It was planned to be a super fun, multi-LTM event, just like Season 3, except most of the LTMs were broken, and they basically had to remove 2 of them because they crashed the game. Despite a bit of a misstep in Season 8 though, Respawn proved they did still have it in them, ending Season 8 with a very exciting teaser. They launched Season 9 with Valkyrie, an amazing movement legend that came out the gate swinging with a really awesome lore trailer, a brand new permanent game mode, arenas, the bow check, which was really fun, and also a brand new weapon for the Titanfall universe. And the LTMs were okay for Season 9. We got an OG map mode and a new arenas map added mid-season, but Apex got hit by its first of, unfortunately, many big controversies, and this controversy might have just set forth the future of Apex and give us a big hint as to why the game had been failing. Yeah, Apex Legends got hacked, and unfortunately, it wasn't going to be the last time. The game couldn't even be played, and people were shown weird messages to visit savetitanfall.com. Now, at the time, it was a mystery who was behind the attack, but it was clear some very disgruntled hackers were not happy with the fact that Titanfall had essentially been abandoned, and at the time, it couldn't even be played due to hackers force crashing the Titanfall 1 and 2 servers. It opened the public's eyes to just how insecure Apex Legends was from a security standpoint, and it was no surprise then that this season was where cheating started to become a real big problem. Despite all of these issues, Respawn kept pressing on, but since that day, the public's opinion of the game definitely started to shift. Season 10 came around with Sia, which ironically was Apex's biggest wallhack legend yet. Despite the game slowly being infested with wall hackers and aimbotters, Ranked Arenas was added too, but that was once again filled with cheaters, and to me, this season was the tipping point where I started to notice that a lot of the Apex Predators and Masters weren't really playing fair. Now, it wasn't too bad yet, but it was a starting point for one of Apex's biggest issues. Season 11 came around, and whilst it brought Ash, the car SMG, and Stormpoint, which ended up being one of the best competitive maps the game has ever seen, we basically got no new LTMs and 5 store sales. Sure, we got Winter Express back, which was fun, but the increase in store sales and a lack of new content started to make people feel upset. Season 12, luckily, started off great, with the introduction of Control Mode as an LTM, Mad Maggie, and an Olympus map update. It was also the first event to introduce a Prestige skin, which people weren't so happy about at the time. We did get Flashpoint back as an LTM though, and it was a decent season overall. And the next few seasons, Respawn managed to do okay, with Season 13 bringing Newcastle and Stormpoint updates, Season 14 bringing Vantage and a King's Canyon update, and Season 15 bringing Catalyst and Broken Moon. It was a pretty decent year, but as soon as 2023 came around, that all changed. Apex brought Celestial Sunrise to end off Season 15. It was a collection event, and although it came with a new LTM, the end reward was a recolored Battle Pass skin from Season 3. People were not happy, and Respawn had to publicly respond, stating they won't be doing it again, and people should vote with their wallets. Luckily, Season 16 came around quickly, which kind of made everyone forget about what had just happened, because it brought the Nemesis, mixtape mode, remastered legend classes, and a bunch of decent LTMs. The end of Season 15, leading into Season 16, really helped to paint a picture of Apex's biggest issues. They delivered when it came to good content, updates, and new modes, but it was always sprinkled between controversies with store sales and hacker problems. From this point onwards, Respawn actually really hit when it came to content. Each season would have big balance changes or meaningful additions to the game. Ballistic and the Evac Tower came in Season 17. Season 18 got a big rework to Revenant and the Charge Rifle, and some really awesome lore-based game modes. Season 19 added Conduit, Three Strikes mode and the Final Fantasy event, and Season 20 added the new perk system, Season 21 got Alter and the new Solos mode, and both the last two seasons have had piles upon piles of balance changes and new game modes as well. Everything content-wise and game balance-wise has been really great over the last year, so where have the players gone? Well, despite the new updates hitting the mark, it seems most players were getting tired of two things. Firstly, the monetization practices just kept getting worse and worse, with new gacha events being added, new even more expensive heirlooms, and more store sales and cosmetics like stickers and Deathbox skins. Most people were getting tired of the relentless addition of new monetization methods each and every season. But even that was not such an issue considering, for the most part, these store events were still often paired with great new LTMs and big, healthy quality of life changes for the game. The main issue was something far more sinister: cheaters. Slowly but surely over time, more and more cheaters were flooding the ranks of Apex, and ranked on console was filled with 6 manners and 9 manners, and PC was filled with aimbotters and wallhackers. And then this happened.
Wait, what the I'm getting hacked, I'm getting hacked! But
I know, sure. Can you play the game?
Bro, I'm getting hacked!
I know, but can you play?
Yeah, but it's cheating! Yes, I can see everyone,
This problem was one of the most trending gaming topics of 2024. 2 pro players had their games hacked midway through a competitive tournament. A hacker seemingly remotely installed cheats onto their PCs through the game, forcing them to use aimbot and wallhack. Because of this, many people believed that cheaters had access to Apex and could remotely run code on other people's PCs, and that just opening up Apex could potentially cause your PC to be infected with viruses. It was later proven that there was never such risk, but the fear that spread through the Apex community was unprecedented. People mass uninstalled the game, and whilst the issue was being dealt with at the time, nobody quite knew what was going on. Still to this day, I have people asking if Apex is safe to play. It's clear to me because of these major security issues and the major cheating issues plaguing Apex, the game is struggling because of it. But a quick read through the Steam reviews recently really reflects the 2 issues plaguing the game. The monetization issues and the cheating problem has plagued it for so long. And the horrible thing is, a lot of people still really like what Apex Legends is. But with these problems making it harder to play, people are being turned away. Apex Legends has had blunders here and there, and they've made some mistakes. But right now, the actual state of the game is pretty decent. Balancing is okay, new game modes and quality of life changes are being brought in all the time, but it's too late. The game is now showing its age, and just like all competitive shooters, people have gotten far too good at the game, making it really hard for newer or more casual players to get on and actually have fun. Apex's biggest downfall now is that the community remaining are those that are basically pro level or literally cheating. The game doesn't feel fun to play because the game has become too serious. To save Apex, Respawn need to completely break apart what it means to play Apex. We need new sandbox tools to create fun gameplay experiences, and we need better options for those that aren't able to keep up with the sweats, because without those, the player base will continue to dwindle.